Okay. Let's see. Casey is here. How do we tell if Bob's here or not?
He'll just pop in
Okay.
because there's no waiting room
Well,
anymore.
I'll have to get rid of this thing. It's bugging me. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to our final class on the teachings of the East, 12 Steps in the Red Road. I'm delighted to have Mr. Casey and Miss Ashley and Mr. Frankie participating in this class. They've been here a year through the whole series. I've been doing these things for many years, and usually we have a sweat lodge out at our place on the Spring Equinox, which would be Saturday, the nearest Saturday to the Spring Equinox. So I think in order to start, let's smudge. I think I've got some smudge right here, because I know it's important for me to center myself, and the sage washes away negative, brings us present, and then the sweet grass calls in the positive. So once you remove the negative, you call in the positive, was the sweet grass. It's like the breath. I let go. I used to, in my meditation groups, I used to say, I let go of fear. I bring in love. I let go of fear, and I relax the more each time I breathe out, and from my belly, and breathing from my belly. That's what I've been practicing lately to get centered, to get through watching news, too much damn news. We'll burn a little sweet grass. Ask Spirit to come in and guide us tonight. Maybe something you'll hear between us will help you. Telling our story is so important. I'm still dealing with the grief of my brothers crossing over, and he still talks to me in my dream. I'm still connected with the ones that crossed over. I think the closer you get to the fourth ridge of life, which I'm in, still running a business. Sometimes I say, what the hell am I doing? And then other times I say, no, I forget to be grateful, but that little committee up in my head gets me in all kinds of trouble. So I go back to meditation and breathing, and like today was garbage day, so I had to do all the chores. I didn't have to, but I did. And try to stay current every day, just one day at a time, one breath at a time. That's 12 years of AA meetings before I heard what they said. And they said a well-balanced life is spent equally in work, play, love, and support. That's so. If your life is balanced, you'll make the space for all of those. I like to do these improv, which is some of the best books I've ever read was Free Play, which is a book about living your life as improv, as theater. So I used to love to watch theater, where improv theater, where you'd get up and you'd make it up in the moment. And sometimes if you're spontaneous, it's just like a child. That's one of the gifts of the East, direction. We're closing down on the pagan ceremony of the Spring Equinox, the green man, the time to plant. So I'm wearing green tonight, the greening of America, so we don't lose sight of our heart, of the heartbeat, which is our wisdom is in our heart. Our knowledge is in our head, and my knowledge is in my head, and my best thinking gets me stinking thinking. So I've got enough tools where I can usually pull out of the dark side, learn how to dance with the shadow rather than fall under the spell of the dark side. So one of the things I learned in my journey, and my journey's, my gosh, I've broken lots of bones and been through some terrible times. I hit a bottom of alcoholism and lost everything I had and was on the streets, hopelessly addicted to booze. But for the grace of God, that I'm here today. And there's no, I don't think it makes much difference how old you are. Because you got a child in you that never dies. That's the innocence that we start with. So this is making babies time. This is making love, making children. That's the future. And we need those young ones coming in and give them hope, not just that without hope we perish. So I know there's a lot of people that I know who have crossed over to the other side, and as I approach 86 this year, I say, wow, I'm getting old. But I guess old is anything you define as old. I know some very old 40-year-olds. So I think it's, I've learned to live my life, what I teach. Is say we teach what we most need to know. So that's why I like to look at these once I've done them, and I say, how'd you do, Pat? How'd you do? Were you real? Because I don't like acts. I don't like my own acts. And I think it's important that the elders tell their stories. In AA, that's the tell of what it was like and what happened and what it's like now. And that's why I usually start with gratitude in these meetings, knowing that there's always something to be grateful for. I don't guess Bob, I don't see anybody there. So March is compassionate service. The color green, the green man. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. A lot of the Christian holidays were around the pagan holidays. And I follow Christ and his teachings. He was a prophet, but he taught that we all have that inside of us, that we can manifest our destiny. And I'm slowly working on my end of life, doing a will, saying what I'd like to do a won't too. The wills are, I've hired an attorney and paid him a retainer, and I think turning my property out there at Bear Creek into a nonprofit and setting it up as a nonprofit. So that gives me a lot of room for volunteers because it's hard for you to volunteer for a for-profit corporation. So I think that's the structure I need as I'm working on finishing. Mandy will be here in April, and she's going to stay a couple of months. So I'm looking forward to having some help because being here by myself, it's hard for me to get those buffalo hides into the water because I'm not as strong as I used to be. I'd love it if I had a couple of youngsters around here to do some things for me. But I get to do it all, and I can do it with gratitude. I don't have to be resentful about it. But just be real. Just tell it like it is. I was talking to Ashley. I want to hear from her because she just started a new career and buying everybody sage. She's quite the team builder. I'd like to get your thoughts so that I don't monopolize the whole thing.
My thoughts on what?
The teachings. Like what have you learned? What are you applying?
Well, I guess starting a new job is always a big transition point where you can kind of reflect on where you've come and where you're going and how it's all at the end of the day the same, but you've changed, and how you want to move forward. And I guess that's what I've taken from these classes, is that accepting the fact that we're always in transition and walking that wheel. There's no choice. Going through the seasons.
You can occupy space.
Yeah, I suppose so. But, so it's been great to sort of have this framework of accepting the seasons of your life and the teachings of the wheel, kind of giving you the permission to go within and knowing that that's a part of it, and then knowing that there's times to face out and that it's all a part of the process. And there's a deep acceptance in that too, I think. Or I guess, okay, let me see. I can't think.
You can't think.
I can't try. Right? Trying is lying and what? Thinking is stinking?
Thinking gets you drinking.
That's it. I guess in my direct experience, I'll try and talk like Patrick talks from stories. I burnt out in my job after 8 years of full-time work, and it's been a journey to kind of come back from that and kind of...
Bob.
Hi, Bob. Accept that was just a part of the process that I needed to go through, because I couldn't go on in the way that it was. And it's funny to find myself in the same exact space that I was maybe 10 years ago. But obviously grown and with perspective that I can now offer other people as they're going through their the world is just so full of stress right now that I think even if things are fine, it's not fine. I don't know. And so, I don't know, I guess I've just been thinking a lot about my own experience and how to talk about it in a way that could be helpful or not.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know, I guess.
Hey, Bob, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't see you.
You didn't see me. Oh.
Turn your video on.
Probably work better if I do.
There he is.
There he is.
There's old man Winter himself.
God, you talk about wintertime.
We're going into spring tomorrow. That's changing the clocks. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It,
I don't wear a watch, but I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful that I'm here,
it's
and
kind of nice.
grateful to be anywhere.
Yeah.
So if I spend too much time watching the news, I get caught up in the negativity, and so that's why if I'm making drums, I feel a lot better rather than sitting there watching the screen. But I can do both and, because I can make drums and listen to music or listen to the radio. It's even hard to find things on the radio, like Oregon Public Broadcasting is all funded by billionaires. It used to be where I could go down to and do a show on OPB. It's like bringing back the humanity into. Bob's got a great way of doing that. Uh, wherever he goes, he gets friends. I'm the same way. I go back to West Virginia and say, Pat, where have you been? they still remember me. If they're friends, they'll be your friend till the end.
Yep.
They'll fight for you. So I'm grateful to have friends, and I'm grateful to have enemies. I'm grateful for whatever comes into my. But the enemies aren't really. They're more. When I first got sober, I lifted weights because I felt I'm afraid of people. So if I get my bulk up, I'll be. So I was lifting weights and running and doing all these weightlifting exercises at the YMCA. And then I came out here and I realized after watching this, reading this book on Tai Chi, that every night the Chi goes away. So every day we have to hook up. Yesterday's spirituality doesn't work today. So you have to do this ritual, like the first hour of your day kind of sets the tone for how your day's going to go. So I went out and got in the hot tub. That's my ritual, is to immerse myself into the water, and then drink my little pitcher of coffee. And I'm limiting my coffee rather than Mandy drinks it all day. But she's not obsessive like me. She sips water. I like to gulp things down. So just slowing down as I get older and having patience, taking the time that I can do the things I used to do. Just I'm slower, but my mind wants to race and hurry up. So I'm in this catch-22 time. But I think sharing your experience, that's what AA meetings did to me. I heard lots of stories of waking up with the committee. Tells you, oh, you gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and I gotta do this. So when I'm here by myself, so I still have the committee, but I listen to it, but I don't. I've got some. I can turn it off too. Like breathing, like that that 4-7, what is it? 4-7-8 breath, the belly, breathing from the belly. That's what I practice out in the hot tub. And then I'll come in and I'll fix myself some breakfast, a light breakfast. I always think I can eat more than I can, so I fix too much. But that's okay. At least I'm preparing my food. It's not perfect, but it tastes pretty good. I can fix an omelet. I'm learning how to bake pies and make chicken soup. These foods that for the seasons. So we're entering the spring. The planting time is the east. I was looking at what are you planting? What's your intention? What's the intention of your heart? That's a great question my teacher used to ask me. What's the intention of your heart? And I'd be puzzled by that question. And I finally said, I guess to love and to be loved. To give and to receive. That's circulation. That's like spirit works through you. You're a hollow bone. That's what I learned in recovery. Left to my own devices, I'll screw up my life big time. And when I get too much self-pity, I know how to get out of that. I'll say, okay, give yourself 20 minutes to feel so damn sorry for yourself. And then let it go. Don't try to do something. Feel it, and it'll change if you feel it or express it. If I write, sometimes that gets me through it because I don't set a time to write. Like some people say, I do morning pages. Well, sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But, as I was talking earlier about living my life as improv, it's balanced, not a little bit of work, a little bit of play. Well, I picked up my ukulele and sang a few songs today. But it didn't feel like I was really connecting. It felt like I was down in the darkness. And then I have tools to get through that. This too will pass. Don't take it personally. That's the 4 agreements. Always do your best. Don't take the actions of others personally. Make no assumptions. What's the word? Be impeccable in your word.
Yeah, you got it.
Be impeccable in your word. That's if you say you're going to do something, do it. But I get very careful about who I make agreements and what I agree to. They call me on the phone. They say, we'd like to come in your store. I says, what do you want? What are you looking for? Well, I do a little screening to protect my sacred space because I got a lot of great things in my store, and I'd rather have it membership only and people come in and wait on themselves. That's trusting. Trust. What do we need in this world? Trust, love, and hope, and mercy, and reading again. Because if I'm reading, if I just pick up a book and turn a page, it'll be right what I'm supposed to hear. But I have to do the legwork. Like I used to run 7 miles a day, and the hardest step was the first one. But once I begin, I can get into the. But sometimes I just get stubborn. What is that great Course in Miracles say, argue for your limitations and they are yours. So anytime I say, I can't do that, I remember I won't do that. To change my language, because if I put it outside of the possibilities that I can't do something, then guess what? I can't do it. I listen to my be impeccable in your word and expressing yourself. I looked at the gifts of the East, and one of them is the ability to see through complex situations. It's like sometimes the answer is so simple, but you're looking too hard. You have to relax for the wisdom to come in. If you seek it, you create the barrier. So that's my task is not to seek love, but to remove the damn barriers I've built against it. Because love cannot enter a barricaded heart. So, listen to be impeccable in my word. It means the salutations. Just how are you today? Not that people really want to know how you are, but how we greet each other. Our greetings. My latest is fair to middling. Fair to middling. I'm fair to middling. That means that's dare to be average. I've been at the top. I've made lots of money. That didn't bring me happiness. It brought me comfort. I had a lot of things that I value stuff because I was at that age where I was accumulating stuff. Now I'm trying to get rid of stuff, but running a business, I have to buy new stuff. So I enjoy it. I have just enough business that I can handle the orders. I've got them all current. I've been going down there and doing the shipping. I'm the janitor, so I have to clean the bathroom, and I'm the production manager and the quality control guy. So when you run a business or run your own business and don't work for people, work with people, because the jobs are going out the window with AI and automated everything, or that's where it's headed. So I think more of a tribal way of giving's always for me, giving my time, my talent, or my treasure. And so that's why I work on values, like what do you hold sacred? Those are important questions as we get older. Those things change, because we're changing, hopefully. I mean, if somebody asks you, how you done today? I'm horny as hell. But you came out with what the truth was, or whatever you were feeling. That would definitely change the quality of contact. So it's how you greet people. It's a gift of the East. It's anew when you wake up. Like, nobody dies. We just go back to spirit and come back, hopefully. Or if we don't, we just go on to the spirit world. I call it the happy hunting ground, where it's a great place to be if you've taken care of the false pride and done the best you can do, and don't aim for perfectionism. Give yourself your own self-compassion. That's what Jesus taught. He said, I'm the way, but so are you. What I have is in you. We all have that ability to reach that Christos, that seventh house, that Christ consciousness. So that's on a higher vibration. But there's gateways we go through to get that. Teaching how to make a drum, which has a beginning, the preparation. Say preparation is 90%. So when we get enough people out at Bear Creek that's got that lodge all put together for tomorrow, we can do that or for this weekend. We can do that ceremony, but I have to change, and I've taken some steps by getting this attorney and taking some steps to make it happen. Not snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. It was his. But watching too much of that, like, I could care less about the brackets or all those sports because it's just so much gambling. There's so much. What's the line on the game? It used to be fun to watch golf. I've kind of given up being a couch potato. I like to get up and move and do my laundry and take the time to take care of myself. The body is the hardest thing. Because like taking a shower. Mandy showers in the evening. That's her time, and my time's in the morning. So, but sometimes I don't shower. So I don't. That's where what they call it, tolerance or play comes in. Perfectionism is one of the 4 addictions. It's a universal addiction. There's 4 of those too. The need to know, perfectionism, intensity, and the working on looking at what isn't working in your life rather than what is. So it's like the black wolf and the white wolf. Which one you feeding? Like, I don't have enough. Well, how much is enough? Can you eat until you're not quite full? Or that's what I've been practicing. But I fix too much food, and I say, well, you don't have to eat it all. Well, my mother told me to eat every bite on my plate. So I still have those voices from her. I say, no, save it. But I'm learning how to be more efficient. I'm on that path. So it's hard to see your own progress, but you can see it in other people. Like I can see Bob's gifts. But it's hard for him to see his own gifts because Mr. Hall, what have you got to say?
Well, I've sort of reached a point where I was getting restless, with what was going on with me because I didn't have the centeredness that I could generally walk around with. And so what have done is one of my favorite early books that I ever read was The Impeccable Warrior with Carlos Castaneda. And just that title just really brings out something to me about an image, a way of walking through life that feels so good, I guess. So I'm finding that, and I've gone back and setting up to where now I'm trying to do my drumming and my meditation and my continuum work all together and do it for 3 or 4 hours. It gets me back with all of those tools working together. And I found that I'm just falling into a path that feels very good. I mean, I still keep up a little bit with the news, but as soon as the Argy monster comes on, I click it off. I don't want him bothering me. Uh, but it's just feeling that, you know, I'm lucky. I feel fortunate that I have all these tools that I know that really are significant for me. And so I kind of luxuriating in that. And that's kind of pulled me back to how I want to walk through life, as opposed to being agitated with what's going on in the world. And I still get agitated I walk through all that stuff, but it's it's like for me, uh, when I do the drumming, I sort of become one with the drum, in a very visceral way. And I drum it. I put the frame on my bone there. I acknowledge that I'm nothing but a hoop drum because my frame has skin spread across it, just like a hoop drum does. And so just pulling those pieces together. And the one last part that I'm working on together, just to call it back and get them all working a little bit more polished, is when I really listen, to make sure that I listen with my whole body. I know the ears is the primary way. But sound is vibration. And like I said, my body's a drum. So I can take that in there. And again, I don't know why, but it just feels like the right thing for me to be doing at this time. So that's sort of where I'm at. It'll probably change 30 seconds from now.
About the only thing you can assure. This too will pass.
That's right. No, but but I'm just, gratitude. I'm really, I do think that's a secret to self-love and universal love. Gratitude.
Self-compassion, cutting yourself some slack. So.
Yeah, it's empathy and wonderment, all of those things that just kind of work together.
I was raised in a school that gave F's and A's and they'd whip your ass if they didn't like what you were doing. So it was the old school for sure. I was raised in the 40s, elementary school, and so when I enlisted my daughter into Montessori, I would go to class with her because I just really loved learning how they're teaching these children, how beautiful the Montessori method is. And then I went to another one of my wives, had 2 kids that went to Waldorf, so I started going to the Waldorf classes because I wanted to know. I had that curiosity, which is also a gift of the East. It's becoming childlike. No matter how old you are, you're learning something new. And there's a story about the old eagles lose their beak and they have to grow a new beak. And so they have to depend on their relatives to come and feed them because they can't feed themselves. They're very vulnerable in that time. So it's sometimes don't doubt that was old Rising Sun. One of my teachers came in my store and said, "Let's go to the mountain and drum." So I said, "Okay, I'll grab a drum." So he told me a story on the way up to Mount Hood. We went up there and drummed all day. He says, "Need more people. All these fear thoughts people have get caught in the atmosphere." So I put the word out, and we had 28 people going up on Mount Hood to drum with Rising Sun. And he drew a circle, and he says, he told me a story on the way up. He said the elders chose him to do the work above the tree line on the mountains. He says, because that's where the collective fear thoughts accumulate, and we have to open up vortexes so that the light can come back through. It's like a matrix, negative thoughts. When you say, "How are you?" Not bad. But we're all what we're not. Do not park. So being impeccable in your word is like I have my driveway. Please keep clear. So you're telling people what you want them to do, what you don't want them to do. So it's going being true to yourself first, questioning authority, and that's I get by watching a few of these comedians, but it can sure bring your energy down, because the network TV and the TVs are just spies. They're looking at everything you're doing, tracking everything you're doing. It's like, in recovery, they said we're only as sick as our secrets. So if I got anything I'm hiding, I better get it out there. That's what admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our barriers. So when you do that, that's a West work. So that's this time of day, close to going to bed, So we're going more within, and then we fall asleep, which is dying. And if we're blessed with another day, we say, "Thank you, God, for another day." But I have to hook up for that day, because yesterday's spirituality doesn't work today. It's one day at a time. That's what I learned in 12 years of AA meetings. Don't drink. It's the first one to avoid, not the third one. So if you get killed by a train, it's not the third car that kills you, it's the first one. So nothing good happens when you follow your addictions, whatever addictions they are. So I look at there's four addictions: addiction to intensity, addiction to perfectionism. Like I intentionally make drums with holes in them. People say, "That drum's got a hole in it." I said, "I'm glad you noticed." Well, isn't that defective? No, it's not. That's a portal.
The whole back of a drum is a hole.
Yeah. But that water, that wash, that vibration, because we are vibration. So Bob is my best salesman because he does his work. He plays the drum.
I'm still pushing them for you.
Yeah.
Telling people about your website.
So I like to make drums when I'm not cranky. But how will I know how I'm going to be tomorrow?
Yeah.
So you wake up with new eyes. That's the East. Say, "Thank you for this day." And so that's that first hour. How you spend that first hour determines how your day's going to go. So I had too much committee going on. I got to do this, I got to do that. And so I went out and got in the water. I wasn't very aware, like I usually am in the water. I could start singing. The song started singing me. I don't sing the songs sing me. And it's just like, it's not a performance, it's living your life authentically. That being true to yourself. If I'm true to myself, I'm certainly going to be true to you. So, that's working with others, not for others. That's what my uncle taught me. He says, you ain't got enough money to hire me. He says, I'll work with you. But if I call a meeting and you don't show up, I quit.
Love that.
So to get their attention. Say, I tell 8 out of 10 people, no, I won't work for you because you've already tried it and screwed it up. And you're looking for somebody to bail you out. So I say, that's what I do in AA. These guys said, would you be my sponsor? Yeah, you go to 90 meetings in 90 days, and if you can do that, come back and see me. So that's what my sponsor told me. He says, you gotta do the leg work. You pray for potatoes, but you grab a hoe. So that's the preparation, which is 90% of ceremony. So tomorrow, I'll do my own. I'm making a buffalo drum. I'm like a kid in a candy store because I'm learning I don't like to waste things. It drives me crazy. So I've got all these scraps that I haven't cut up yet. I don't want to throw it away. So I say, well, I could give it to the treatment centers and to Nara and Naya, and they could make things out of it. But I teach that when I'm getting old. I don't have to do it all. So I'm glad that I have just enough business. It's like I've got all my orders current, and but I'm still in this place where I'm unable to sit down and read a book. My mind's just too much going on with the head. So I'll say this too will pass. This too will pass. That was like I spent a year up in North Dakota raising money for the Lutherans, $100 million campaign. And I was going all over Minnesota, where Bob is now. I was going up to Ely, Minnesota. There's a little Lutheran church up there. It was way up on the border. And there was a whiteout, which means up there ain't no trees, so the wind comes up and it blows that snow up, and you can't see anything. And a lot of people panic and get out of their car and get lost in that whiteout they call it. I was in my little Honda Prelude, front wheel drive, and I was in one of those whiteouts going up to this little town, and I just kept saying the Jesus prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy. And the only thing I could see was barely 2 telephone poles, and I just tried to stay in the middle of those 2. And I got up there. But it was touch and go there for a while. And they say if you run into a moose, you never honk or horn at a moose, they'll tear your car all to pieces. So you have to respect. That's one of the lessons of the pipe, is respect. Respect. It all comes from self-respect. how I'm out doing with the man in the glass. I got that right in there in my bathroom. When you get all the riches you want, the only person you have to answer to is the mirror. So, how'd you do, Patrick? Well, I did pretty well. I didn't leave a mess. I didn't go to bed with a mess to clean up tomorrow morning. So I took care of today. That's one day at a time. And since I don't wear a watch, and I don't have kids to get to school, I wake up when I wake up. And that first getting out of bed is tough. These old bones. And getting a drink of water and peeing and all the things you do. And I got a new coffee maker, and I got my 4 cups of coffee in there, little 4-cup thing. I drink a little coffee, but I don't drink it like I used to. Because that's like AA meetings. You have cigarettes and coffee. There's lots of addictions other than alcohol. Work addictions, sex addictions, food addictions, especially food addictions. It's like, learning how to eat to the edge, but not go past that edge. Stay lean and mean. So Maddie taught me that, because she's lean and mean. And she's been my teacher so many ways. I buy myself flowers. I treat myself, say, I love beauty. I think my store, I love it to look a certain way. I've learned feng shui and ley lines and all the way that you can walk through a space and make sure that it flows. You don't learn that in school. Something that wisdom comes after you listen and read so many books, and you start practicing some of these things that help me. Like, I still enjoy watching golf, and I haven't looked at any of the basketball, but I enjoy watching it. A little bit of it. That's learning how that TV has an off button, and I can get on to something I enjoy doing. Not that I have to do, but that I enjoy doing. So I'm anxious to make some drum kits and some drums out of that big buffalo hide. Create some new vibration. Because as Bob says, we are vibration. It's,
That we are.
what does that resonate with you? Truth is a resonance. And you,
That does resonate with me.
you hear the bells, and that's the Tibetan bells.
Yeah.
It's the church bells that has a certain vibration. The didgeridoo has a certain vibration. It's down in the root chakra. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stimulates the creative energy of spring. Making babies, making love. And being awake. And, I'm so grateful to have Ashley and Casey and Frankie in my life. They help me a lot. Teach them to slow down like I'm slowing down, and listening to my body more rather than my mind. Like, got all the garbage out today, the 3 things, but I took my time. You call it moseying. I used to have an Ayurvedic teacher that says, walk around the block as slow as you can. And that just challenged every part of me because I wanted to speed up. Because I noticed in the city, everybody's zip, 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 driving fast cars and impatience. I used to listen to the traffic and say, that's like waves. I just imagine that that's waves, that I'm at the ocean. That's just the waves going by. Meditation is the 11th step of AA. We've sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with spirit. So then if we're bringing spirit into the relationship, I'm asking, what does Ashley want? What does Casey want? What does the relationship want? So you're asking that third question.
A hot tub.
Stop! Get
The
me
answer
more
is
stop.
there.
Well, that's just the way I start my day.
Well, sounds pretty nice. I want to start my days like that too. That's what I learned from this class.
Ah,
That's a big lesson.
it is. Because that's baptism. John the Baptist baptized Jesus. Baptize. That's, brother, where art thou? Let's go down to the river and pray. So you go down to the river and you get immersed into the waters. That's what they do in India.
Old-time religion.
And the Andes. So Andes is Pachamama, and mother, and the Himalayas are Dad, Father Sky, Mother Earth. So I have the bells and the gongs, and that's very Eastern, which is East, which is the color yellow, which is the morning. And so I've been rearranging the house, or the room in here, where it's open now. It's a lot more open than it was. And that means it's a cinch by the inch. My mind says, I need to do more, but knowing how to pause when that obsessive compulsive, I gotta do this, and do it when Indian time, they call it. It's, I met Quanta Parker, who was a Comanche when I was down in Texas doing the campaign. They have a mountain over there at right outside of Granbury called Comanche Peak. And I'd go up there and get my beater sticks for my beaters. So I was making drums, even when I was a consultant, making a lot of money. So, and I took the time to study 2 years with some native people out here, because I didn't get much teaching in West Virginia, because you couldn't own property back then if you were native until the 50s. So everybody denied that they were native. So it was a whole different thing. And out here, they're proud. Their traditions are beautiful. The teachers, the tribal way, the powwows where they come to do the dances. We have to dance and sing. If we're not dancing and singing, we're attached. I've been reading Bob's. He left me all these triangle. What is that magazine? Buddhist.
Tricycle?
Tricycle. It was all about Buddhism, and about Thich Nhat Hanh and all these.
Yeah.
amazing people who that's what knowledge is. There's so many ways to spirit.
Yeah. A
And
lot of wisdom in those books.
but books are like old friends. And I say you never die if you uh, still have hope, and hope springs eternal. So you gotta have hope. That song from Damn Yankees. You gotta have hope. Mustn't sit around and mope. When the world is saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start. So that's getting up. When my dad had a thing says, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So most people give up. You never give up. Just keep on rolling. Big wheel keeps right on rolling. Proud marriage. The songs will start singing you when you're relaxed. So I've learned tense is just a state. Why am I tensing my body right now? So learning how to, we used to have this exercise where you magnify your tension and then relax. And that way you're feeling it and releasing it by expressing it. But trying to put on the facade is a whole different thing. What face am I putting to the world? And what's underneath the face? The facade. I had a great book called The Facade. It talks about the masks that we wear. And some back east they put false faces on their houses. They had the false face societies. That's a lot of the pagan ceremonies, like Halloween, put on the false face because that's when we dance with the spirits. Because the veils are thinnest in the west. The east is let's plant. This is the planting time. This is the wedding. The coming together. March is compassionate service. It's the green man. That's why we're wearing green tonight. It's because green is the chakra. So I used to have these aura photographs that I did at these shows I was doing. Because the first 7 years I had Cedar Mountain. I was doing shows all over the country, and just taking my wares, doing whole life expos and wholesale. I had big dreams. Still do, but they've gotten more manageable. But I've written them all down. And sometimes I really enjoy picking up my old journals and just, what was I thinking in 2018, 2003? And I can see my own progress. And I'm grateful that I can remember every song. They say, well, you remember everything. And say when we expire, it all becomes clear. The clarity. There's some of the death rituals, like what is there after life ceases, the unknown. But different cultures have different traditions about how you deal with a relative that's passed on. And I've participated in those rituals. I was able to go into the morgue and get a body out and dress it with, sing songs to prepare it to go to the other side. We put an eagle feather in his hand and pointed him to the west. and sang this crossing over song. It's beautiful to participate in those ceremonies. How we deal with the departed, not put them in a nursing home. Because those are pretty expensive these days, those nursing homes. So I'm grateful to have this house. It's an old house. It's got lots of spirits in it. And I enjoy it. And it keeps me in shape, just running up and down those stairs every day. I'm in pretty good shape. But I'm also grateful because I should be dead by now, according to the way I live. So gratitude is so important. Just to wake up every day and say, thank you for this day. Thank you for the breath of life. Thank you for the food that I have to eat. And go feed the birds if there's any excess. Crows are my friends. I have a squirrel out there that comes to me every morning. He teaches me, don't save too much because it'll spoil. So I've got things up in my attic that I need to get down. So they're living up there in my attic, those squirrels. So. One of my dreams is to clear out this clutter in this house, get it more operable, maybe lift up the house like they did to those ones across the street where they put a new foundation under it. So you got to have a dream and a vision, a hope. Without hope we perish. So this native man asked me before this man died and we dressed his body, he was diagnosed with cancer, and we went up to do a healing on him. And Frank Fool's Crow was one of the most powerful books I ever read, was Wisdom and Power, Frank Fool's Crow. And he says if somebody's ready for a healing, you give them a healing. No, but if they want to be cured, you give them a curing. So those are two different ceremonies. The healing is preparing them to go the other side. The curing is they've still got hope, want to live, so you cure them. So he asked me to go in and ask if this guy wanted to live or die. And I went in there and I said, do you want to live? And he said, well, doesn't everybody? And he wouldn't answer my question. So I said, he's ready to go. So we when he crossed over, we went up and did that ceremony. It was really powerful to realize that doctors work a lot with cadavers, with dead bodies. But we don't study live people, healthy people enough that have a little humor in their life. They're singing songs. They're not so animated, although that word animated is childlike. That's one of the qualities of the East. It's spontaneity, wonder, waking up with new eyes every day. Wow, another day. That's what the children do. They don't hold yesterday or get caught up in yesterday's clutter. So yeah, that's my goal, and I did pretty good today. I wrestled that big buffalo into got it in the big tub that I soak them in, and got it down. It's taken 2 days to get it all down, so it's going to be ripe for making a bunch of drums. And maybe I get Ashley to make a drum. That's the beginning. It has a preparation, a beginning, and perseverance. That's what are those 5 steps of volition? Remember, Ashley?
Yes. Intention.
Attention.
Intention. I just wrote them down too, so I could remember because I can't remember. So I wrote them down.
Say I won't remember.
Perseverance.
Goal setting.
Goal setting.
Initiating action.
Initiating action. Perseverance.
Initiating action. Perseverance. And completion.
That's it.
So that's the steps to make a drum. You have to prepare the materials, and you have to also know what your energy is. I feel like making a drum. So I've got my prayer into that drum because my presence is in it. I'm not just trying to learn it so I can go do drum making classes. Most people want to learn things, but they don't apply the knowledge that they learn. So you have to have repetition. That's how I learned. That's what 12 years of AA means. Then I finally said, oh, that's what they mean. I have to get through this thick head. I have to hear it again and again and again. So it's nice to have the elders that taught me, that took the time with me to. Like I've known Dennis Banks, used to buy from me, been in my store, and he was a beautiful man. I knew a lot of the elders I met out here when I had my store, and some of the medicine people. And I've learned that they keep things simple. They love 12-step recovery. It's, a lot of them have the drinking sickness, just like the Irish. They like that alcohol. But I don't associate with people that drink. I used to, but there's no quality of contact there. So I like to, like Bob used to come in and we'd draw. Let's see what the spirits have to teach us today. So we go there to the medicine cards. Ashley just bought some medicine cards. So pick a card and say, oh, that's perfect for today. So,
They're amazing.
so if you have to have some magic, not just logic. Logic will get you so far, but then the magic is what. And this is a magic time. This is the looking up.
There's so much wisdom in those cards.
No kidding.
Except when you turn them upside down on me when I'm not looking.
They're oracles. It's like there is magic, and that's the left side. This gets left out. So it's the right brain, left side. So she's showing me what I could do on that thing. But I like to draw with both hands, or I write one line this way and another one this way. So I know how to left and I know how to right. So I was going to write a book that went this way and then went this way and then went back this way. A lot of languages are that way. But English is want to put things in just very complicated language. It's more about what kind of tree is that? You ask the native what kind of tree it is. They say, well, it's home for the birds and its roots go down into the earth. And they say the tree reaches the sky and its roots go down into Hades. So the tree is the sacred tree, is what we use in this class. It's the sacred tree, a book. But, Used to be there wasn't any book. I was teaching it before there was a book, but I knew the gal that wrote the non-progressive Great Spirit. Talks about there's nowhere to get to. Everything is in the present of being here now and doing the best you can, not getting too tired, too angry, too lonely. And I think that's been my problem, because I like talking to people. And I had customers come in and it's like, who's spirit going to send me today? I've had some amazing encounters. And that's my way of carrying the message forward. And we'll be going from east to south. There'll be a pause. There's always a pause so we can integrate, realize that keep those minds. If you got a goal and you're accountable, that's why we used to do this group. My church used to do this group where you'd have a mastermind group. So you'd have 2 or 3 people or a little circle, and you had to say, this is my goals this week. And we had to write them down. And then we had to come back the next week and say, well, this is what I accomplished and this is what I blew off. So you have somebody to be accountable to. So you pair up. That's what we do in our journeying class. You pair up with someone you don't know, not somebody you know. A lot of times your teachers come from the strangers, not the people you think they're coming from. Like my sponsor says, the people that take a drink teach you just as much as the people that stay sober. Maybe more. Because you just watch what happens. And have that pause power when you're agitated. Just let it go, let it go, let it go, brush it off. And that's why it's nice to have the medicine. Lots of medicine in my store and helping a lot of people with the medicine. Making drums. That's my legacy. It's creating those acoustic resonators. But now, what's that?
I like that
Yeah.
terminology. Acoustic resonators.
Well, we're almost at 8 o'clock. What did you have to say?
I keep pulling the Heyoka card.
The trickster.
The trickster. And so, I've been reading this book by Jamie Sams, and so I'm really captured by her as a teacher. And so I've been digging into all of her stuff. And so I bought the Sacred Path cards and books the other week. And, I just kind of pull them randomly or open up the deck and see what's there.
Yeah.
And the first time I opened it up and I pulled it, it was Heyoka. And then
Yep.
it keeps on coming. And I was reading the story that she has in it. And the story is that she had a teacher who asked her to go and collect all of the different animal scat she could find. And then, after that, dig a hole in a circle, or dig a trench in a circle, and put all of the scat around it in the circle, and sit in the middle and wait for the message. And it wasn't until day 2 or 3, and she's getting so frustrated sitting in that circle, maybe day 2, that the coyote came. And she realized that her teacher just played this massive joke on her to teach her to not take everything so seriously. She'd been sitting in a circle of shit for 2 days.
There's great wisdom there.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about that story a lot, and and you know,
Like the old snipe hunt they did in West Virginia.
yeah. What is it?
They'd say, we're
Yeah,
going to
lose
go
the
out and drive
snipe.
this snipe down, and you catch it with this burlap bag, because it's going to take a lot of people. These snipes live, they're secretive, but we're going to find one when you catch it. So then they'd all go home. And I'd be there holding this bag, waiting for this snipe, and I had to walk all the way home. That was my initiation into Hayocasville. So that's, if you can laugh at yourself, that's the best humor. My dad would start telling a story, he'd start laughing before he finished the story, and if it was funny to him, that's not the story that's funny, it's the animation and telling it. It's like you can listen to a good storyteller and they're captivating. It's like Martin Highbury says, he could read the telephone book and people would be mesmerized by his voice because he was always low and relaxed. So if you seek, you create the barrier. When I quit chasing women, one came that I love very dearly. So I learned to be true to myself. Now I can be true to her. So, but you got to start with you. You can't. You see it in everybody else. That's the mirror work of the West. So, but we're moving towards the longest day, which is the light will be at its peak. So we go into the beautiful gifts of the South, which is manifestation. Like birthing a baby is not it's a messy proposition. You have pains. So if there's no pain, there's no gain. But pain is the touchstone for all spiritual progress. But you don't have to keep sitting on the nail. You can get off. So, I sometimes feel pain, and I linger too long in it, but then eventually I've got enough tools where I can get off and correct my course. Feel pretty good about it by the time the day's ended. So, I appreciate Ashley being here, Casey for being here, and Frankie for being here and on this earth and the density. And those children give us hope. We pray for everyone to, as we close this cycle and go into the South, to do your own celebration tomorrow of manifesting the good luck of the Irish without the alcohol. They're good people over there.
Right.
That's,
In spite of the alcohol.
yeah, good people. I have a dear friend over there in Galway. I have several good friends in Ireland. I've made lots of drums that went to Ireland. So that's part of I'm more Scottish than Irish. But anyway, we pray for good health for all of us, for long life, for happiness, all those lessons of the pipe, for balance, for respect, for compassion for ourselves, loving kindness, and for honoring the four ridges of life, the unborn, the newborn, the adults and the elders, and then the unborn going back into sleep tonight. So I'll turn this thing off, and we don't have to get off now, but the recording was in that.